can appreciate your belief.
Wake up, me.
But your belief is a belief.
That numb
My existence is a reality. A lovely name.
Slipping away.
Look into my eyes.
Meeting my gaze again.
So why do they look so real?
You're too easy.
Your body knows the neck is a weak spot.
For cattle like
The
you.
sight of you writhing underneath.
What
me.
matters is that you're with me.
It's quite the view.
I can work with
Whenever
pathetic.
I tease you and your cheeks flush.
Hope you like second place.
Your gaze drops.
Hope you're ready for a blackout.
Worst kind of flirt.
Oh, Jesus
It
Christ, you
is
taste good.
Lovely.
Lovely.
I'm Vincent.
And Vincent,
Very much in danger.
if you want to live through the night, say my fucking name.
I got them stabilized. Their body should be able to do the rest on its own. I thought you said they were human. They were human. Until last night. Now, suddenly they have a magical signature. That's putting it lightly. Their aura is lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. I'm amazed Adam even lasted long enough for you to land the killing blow. I know. Healing them pushed my powers to the limit, Vincent. I lost most of those abilities when I turned, you know that. I'm a vampire who's decent at healing magic. I'm not a healer anymore. Remember that. I know. Thank you, Sam. Really. So, what are you gonna tell Will? The truth? We all knew Adam was fucked up. He was on everybody's last nerve and he never obeyed our customs. I'm not gonna miss him, we'll put it that way. I should go. Your friend's probably waking up. I'll see you around. Thanks, Sam.
Lovely. Are you up? Good. Good. How do you feel? Yeah, I'm sure. Sam tends to undersell his work, but even with his healing magic, I'm sure you're exhausted. If you want to get some sleep, I can come back later. Okay. Yeah, of course I can stay. Sam is one of the vampires in our clan. He was a freelancer who was a healer before he turned. So I asked him if he could help you. I knew he could help you faster with magic than any human hospital could. He says he was able to get you stabilized, but your body went through a lot. You're still probably going to feel tired for a while, but you should be totally fine soon. Physically. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what to say right now. I don't know if you want to talk about what he did to you. I don't know if you're ready to talk about your powers, and I don't know how to tell you how sorry I am that all of this happened. Because it's my fault. All of it. I led you into this world. I didn't explain enough. I wasn't I wasn't careful enough, and I didn't recognize Adam for the threat that he was. This is my fault, and I don't know what words could ever convey how sorry I am for that. Can I sit in that chair near the bed? I won't come any closer or touch you or anything like that unless you want me to. I can. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is my house. This is my guest room. The park is our base of operations, I guess you could say. But most of us don't actually live there. This place is up in the hills outside the city, on the north side. Yeah. I want to do whatever makes you comfortable. Whether that's talking or quiet or if it's me leaving so you can be alone. I can't imagine what you went through with him. Sam told me the physical stuff that he could detect, but that's just part of it. No, really, you don't have to talk about it yet. Are you sure? Completely. Alright. But if it ever becomes too much, just stop. Please. Okay? Okay. Yes, when I left that night, I cast wards over your place. They were supposed to keep you safe. Warn me if anything tried to get to you. Fuck. I knew it had to be something like that. I mean, to bring him down without any kind of evidence, he had to have already been inside. Fuck. If you'd sustained that much blood loss and hadn't had any kind of treatment, you probably would have died. Sam thinks from the echoes of the magic that was left on you that Adam was using regenerative magic to help your body recuperate faster so that he could keep drinking from you without losing you. I never really explained how magic works to you it took me long enough just to get you to believe in vampires. Not just a whole magical world. There are lots of different kinds of magic users in the world. Vampires are one of them, but our control over most branches of magic is very limited. I mean, we can trance people. That's the one type of magic we're all very good at. But outside of that, we can't become much more than a novice in anything else. As a race, our connection to magic is mostly tied to the physical. Our strength, our speed, immortality. It's difficult for us to externalize magic. Even if you were empowered before you were turned, you lose that previous connection when you become a vampire. I mean, Sam was a powerful freelancer before he was turned, but now his powers are as muted as the rest of us. So, all of that is to say, Adam was playing a losing game. With how much you said he fed, he couldn't have kept up with his regenerative magic for long. He had to be reaching his limit even by the time I found you. He was a disgusting fucking leech. But I'm just grateful that you survived. Even if that's partly because of his magic. Yeah, that's the part that's gonna be a bit tougher to explain. Magical beings can detect the magic in others. We all give off an aura. There are ways to mute it, but never completely conceal it. Not when you're up close enough, at least. And you and I have been very close at times since we met. But in that time, I never got a single indication that you had a magical core. You've never done anything like that before, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. There's a lot to explain here, so bear with me, please. Thank you. Magically empowered humans can be born to unempowered parents. It's called being human born. That doesn't affect their powers or their potential at all. It just makes it more confusing for them, really, because they have no idea that magic exists. But their powers will start to manifest during puberty, just like everybody else. And they give off a magical aura, even though they don't realize it. But that doesn't seem to be what happened with you. You never displayed any powers before last night. And more importantly, you never gave off a magical signature either. You really just didn't have any powers, known or otherwise, until last night. We have a word for that. Latent. it's incredibly rare. Well, actually, it could be more common than any of us knows, but we'd never know it. Because if a person's powers never manifest, there'd be no way to know that they ever were latent. But either way, it's extremely uncommon. And a latent human born like you is almost unheard of. Even when magical beings are young, unfocused magic usually requires very strong emotion to slip out unintentionally. And for it to break through whatever kind of block there is when you're latent, it takes something traumatic. You're an energetic, lovely. You're a human-born, latent, electro-energetic. As insane as that must sound to you, your powers came to you when you needed them most. You saved yourself, and you did enough damage to Adam by doing so that he didn't stand a chance once I got there. But it was you who found the strength to do that, little one. You hurt him enough to break his concentration and make it so I could find you. That's incredible. Someone with no training, no knowledge of magic at all, was able to focus it enough to incapacitate a fully fed vampire. That's amazing. Yes, I called you an energetic. There are lots of different kinds of magical beings. One kind are elementals. Fire, water, air, earth. There's another group that usually is associated with them. The energetics. There are 4 kinds of them, too. Electricity, gravity, sonics, and magnetism. They're much rarer than elementals. From your powers and your aura, you're an electro-energetic. I'm sure of it. Well, what you do with your powers is up to you. You can learn to master them. You can make a job out of them. You can try to ignore them entirely, but at the risk of influencing your decision too much, please, don't do that one. Wasting powers as incredible as yours, it would be a loss. I'll put it that way. To be honest, I don't know exactly what to tell you. I was a human before I was turned. I never had to learn abilities like yours. I mean, when Will turned me, I had to get a crash course in magic, but like I said, most of our connection to magic is in our physical forms. I had to relearn my body, but that's a different thing than what you're going through. But for whatever it's worth, I will support you in any way that I can while you go through it. If you'll have me, I mean. There's an academy in the city for magical beings. Dahlia is actually one of the cornerstone cities in the magical community. There's a lot of us here. The academy is for all magical beings who are looking to learn. They even have a school for vamps, with evening classes, of course. I never went myself, but I know a lot of people who have. If you want, I can take you there once you're feeling up to it. You can check it out, see if that's something you'd be interested in. Okay. But I know you said you wanted explanations, and that right now you need a distraction. I can do those things, but neither of those are gonna address what happened over the last 2 nights. I'm not trying to push you in any way on this, but I'm not equipped to help you work through this alone. I can't even begin to imagine how you must feel. And I will be here for you in whatever capacity you want me. But I just don't want you to throw yourself into this new chapter of your life and try to drown out that trauma under a mountain of schoolwork and training. And try to act like it didn't happen. It hasn't even been a full day since that all went down. And I don't think we should just act like it didn't happen just because something good also came of it. There are people at the academy who I think can help, who you can talk to. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. We can talk about that later. Whatever you want. Blood? Yeah. Vampires can drink each other's blood, but we usually don't. I mean, it won't sustain us, and even in small doses, it has effects on us. It acts a lot like alcohol would on a human. But if we drink too much, it'll push us over the edge. We go feral. Why do you ask? Holy shit. I can't believe that fucker pulled that off. He lied to all of us. And drained his maker? That goes against everything we... I don't know why I'm surprised. Everything he's done. Did he say why he took you? Your blood. I think I think I finally understand what your blood did to both of us. Empowered humans, there's magic running through their body at all times. When they channel it and use it, that supply of whatever it is that lets us tap into the power on the other side of the meridian, it goes down. Over time, it'll replenish, but that's how magic users can reach the limit of their abilities. They use it up and they have to wait for it to build back up. Like when you have to rest before you can work out a muscle again. That magic built up in their blood makes their blood taste better than an unempowered human's. It satiates us more because it empowers our magic as well. But you're latent. Your powers didn't manifest. Your core didn't activate until last night. The magic wasn't getting used. It wasn't venting into your aura. You didn't even have one yet. So the magic building up in you, dormant, had nowhere to go. So it must have just kept getting more and more concentrated in your body and in your blood. That's what makes you so addictive. When I drank from you, it was like drinking magic itself. I just couldn't place that was what it was. I just knew it was something that my body needed. It wasn't a want, it felt like a need. I don't know. Your magical signature is off the charts. My core is thrumming just being this close to you. That's probably your body trying to burn off all that buildup now that it finally can. I don't know how long that would take, or if it ever even will. Your blood might taste like any other empowered person's in a month, or a year, or it might stay that strong your entire life. We barely know anything about latents. There are so few of them, and I know even less than most people. My magical knowledge is mostly about vampires, to be honest. But I'll learn everything I can with you if that'll help. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like that too. But there's one last thing we should talk about. I don't know how to tell you how sorry I am for what happened. And I don't know much about helping someone through trauma. That's something I need to learn, but I do know enough to know that whatever my intentions, constantly apologizing will probably just make you feel like you have to reassure me, and that's wrong. Because this isn't about me. It's about helping you. But part of helping you would be for me to take ownership of some things. and for us to reassess some things. I've had a lot of time to think ever since that day when I fed on you. I've had to think about the things that I did, not just to you, but over the last, well, I don't even know how long anymore. I don't know when things changed with me. But I need to take accountability for the way that I acted since literally the first minute that I knew you. I've been a vampire for 20 years now. That's a long time. And I told myself when it happened to me that I wasn't gonna change as a person. That these powers and abilities weren't gonna change who I was. That was the only way that I could come to terms with Will turning me. It was the only way I could accept being like this. It was to tell myself that I wasn't going to change. But people do change. And I did. 20 years is a long time. And whether I liked it or not, I had to learn how to get what I needed, and I had to learn that fast. It's easy to justify behaviors, and it's easy to fall into patterns of habit. When people are your food and you start to feel farther and farther away from when you were human with every passing day, and when you have the added benefit of being able to modify people's memories, and you have the justification that your actions are necessary to survive, it gets easier, even though it shouldn't. I was a self-conscious guy when I was a human. I didn't talk very much. I didn't date much. I definitely wasn't some crazed flirt. But when I was a vampire, it became easier to take on those traits. Because they worked. It got me blood. And it got me pleasure. And over time, those nagging voices in the back of my head got quieter until I didn't really have to hear them anymore. None of those things excuses what I did. It might explain them, but it doesn't excuse them. When I first met you, I treated you like a plaything, a diversion that I could flirt with and tease and eventually feed on. I invaded your privacy and I put you at risk. I guess what I'm saying is that what I did was wrong in a lot of different ways, and on a lot of different fronts. And I'm not okay being like this anymore. I wish it hadn't taken all of this for me to see that. I wish I'd been a better person and not let this power get to me over the years. But I can't change those things. What I wish I'd done doesn't matter. All I can do is change how I am going forward. Apologies are hollow. They're just words. The best apology is changed behavior. I stand by that. So I need to change. And that starts with you. I like you, lovely. I like you a lot. And I want to get to know you the way I would have when I was a human. I want to be there for you while you work through everything that's happened. And I want to be there on equal terms to you. I want to help you in any way that you're comfortable with. Because whether it was my intention or not, I dragged you into the magical world, and I'm not going to abandon you to that. I want to get to know you, and I want to help. If you'll let me. Thank you, lovely. So, we'll take it slow. Okay. And can we see about getting you set up with someone to talk to at the academy? I really think it will help. Talking about new powers and what happened. And I'll always be here for you for as long as you want me. To listen or to distract you or to just be there. Whatever I can do. I've been talking your ear off. You must still be exhausted. I'm sorry. And I'm so sorry that I let this happen. Nothing like this will ever happen to you again if I can do anything about it. Yeah, of course I can stay here while you sleep. I'll watch over you. Good night.